Mm-hmm.
Hey bitches, welcome back.
Welcome back, guys. Before y'all say anything in these comments, it's a pimple patch.
She looks fabulous.
Pimple patch because I'm about to start my period in like 2 to 3 days, and I'm breaking out.
She'll be fine.
And I got allergies, so I'm gonna sound like a fucking man right now.
You could be my man.
Wow.
uh,
Today's a special episode.
yes. First, do you want to rant?
No.
No? Okay.
If y'all see me out on Facebook posting like
just
this,
tag her.
With my license plate showing, just tag me. And then I'll go ahead and explain later.
Okay. I don't have anything to rant about, I don't think.
I don't think so. You know what I do? Kimberly's teacher.
Oh, yeah. Whatever happened with that?
Kimberly did her homework, right? But she did it at school, and then she turned it in early.
It was at the end of the day.
The teacher was like, well, you missed these 2 questions, so just do it, right? And then I'll grade it. Kimberly did it because she had about 10 minutes left at school in that classroom, so she did her homework. And when she went to go turn it in, because she didn't feel like doing it at home, the teacher was like, no, I can't grade it. And Kimberly was like, why? She was like, because it's called homework for a reason.
Oh my God, she's one of those.
So now Kimberly got a big fat 0, and her grade dropped from like a 73 to a 57.
First of all, why the fuck she making a 73?
Because she sucks at science. That's the only class I know that she'll get a 70. Everything else is 90s right now.
Okay.
So she went to a 73 to a 57. And I told Kimberly, what the fuck, right? And then when she told me, and I emailed the teacher, or whatever. And the teacher said, she told me that. And I was like, so you're telling me that she did her work like you told her, but you wanted for her to do it at home. Well, it's called homework for a reason. I was like, well, it's called school for a reason. You're a teacher for a reason. She's turning in the work. Instead of her not turning it in, I understand, but she's turning it in.
Well, not only that, she decided to do her homework.
And that was like, and it was you gave them literally free time, the last 15 minutes to get everything they needed to do, like, the rest of their classwork or whatever they wanted to do. It was a free 15 minutes. She chose to do her homework the last 15 minutes.
Exactly. So instead of her being disruptive, instead of her, being loud or talking or being on her phone, like doing everything that the majority of us would have fucking done, she decided to do her homework. And then she gets in trouble for it? Like, make it make sense.
I was like, whatever.
Stupid. That's dumb.
I'm just waiting for her to reply, but she hasn't replied yet.
Oh,
man. Bitch, I need to learn how to do my makeup.
You look wild.
I do.
Like it.
I do not know how to do makeup.
I barely know how to do mine, so it'd be alright.
This is how I look when I wake up from bed.
She looks fabulous.
This is what Carlos signed up for.
He's probably like, you're by lioness with that name you got.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Let me get my water.
Okay, guys. So, jeez. Today, we are spilling my mom's tea.
Rosie's spilling her mama's tea.
As many of you know, my mom's dead.
R.I.P. Miss.
Yeah. R.I.P. Mom. So, this is basically kind of like a biography? Is that what it is?
Yeah, because autobiography, she wrote it, but she can't because she's dead.
Huh. Okay, so basically this is just a story about my mom. All right?
Of Irma.
And this is things that she has told me, things that tias have told me.
Older siblings.
And recounts from my oldest siblings.
So she's going to be talking the rest of this video. I'm just going to you're going to get my genuine reaction because I haven't heard most of this stuff.
Yes. So a lot of this is super crazy. So this episode will have mentions of sexual assault, domestic violence, a child bride, possible child trafficking through a church, attempted child trafficking, the whole shebang. So if this is going to have any triggers for you, go ahead and skip this episode, and we'll see you next time. Okay? All right. So I had to type this out because it was a lot.
And I started crying last night when I read it.
And so
I didn't finish it.
There's some things that I had left out, but I reviewed it with my sisters and stuff this morning. So I'll just kind of jump back and forth. Mm-hmm. Okay?
It's going to be a long ass episode.
Yeah. Okay. He going to come for me, Laura. The family drama is going to be on me now, y'all.
I'm excited.
Okay. Let's see. Da-da-da. So let's begin. As many of you know, I am the middle child of a group of 4 sisters. The oldest 2 have the same dad. Me and the youngest have different dads. My mom was born September 25th, 1969 in Athens, Texas. She has a total of 8 brothers and sisters. She was raised in a 2-parent household, but growing up was not the best. She and her siblings experienced sexual assault on numerous occasions at the hands of their father. They didn't grow up with money, so they struggled to feed themselves. So the theory behind this is, I've mentioned it before. Now, I don't know how true it is as far as what I'm about to say. This part, my mom, like the sexual assault and stuff like that, like I've had my tias and my mom, mm-hmm. they've mentioned it before. Mm-hmm. And, but apparently my grandpa, he had came from a wealthy family. So you know those big 18-wheelers, the ones that say England on the side, mm-hmm. right? So those
England night or something like that.
Yeah, something mm-hmm. like that. So apparently my grandpa came from that family. Ooh. But since he had married what they had considered white trash,
your grandma,
my grandma, they like kicked him out. Like they took him off the thing. Damn. And all that stuff.
Well, that was back in the day, right?
That was back in the day. So apparently that's like what my mom has said. That's what I've had Tia say.
Bitch, you could have been rich.
I fucking know. I could have money. But anyway, so since he married white trash, he didn't get none of the money, nothing. He was cut off.
Damn, that's crazy.
But that's a theory. I don't know how accurate that part is. But that's what we've been told.
Okay.
Let's see. They didn't grow up with money, so they struggled to feed themselves. They had mentioned to my grandma that they didn't like being left alone because my grandpa would do stuff or would have them do stuff.
Gross.
So she didn't believe them, though. She said that they were lying, that it wasn't true, all of that stuff. So whenever my grandma would have to go downtown Athens to go to the store or to like go get groceries, mm-hmm. like whatever, she would never take the kids.
She would run errands by herself.
She would run errands by herself. She would never take
Peanut,
them.
No.
Peanut. Like she never took them anywhere. Mm-hmm. And so, they said that as soon as she would leave, like he would either be in the living room in the recliner downstairs mm-hmm. in just his underwear, like in tidy whities. Mm-hmm. And he would go and he would lay on his bed just in his underwear. And he didn't care which kid it was, mm-hmm. whether it was a son, a daughter, like things like that. Like this is what I've been told. Mm-hmm. And he would have them like massage his feet and rub up his thighs. Ew. And they would have to do that consecutively until my grandma came back. Like nothing ever happened when she was there.
Yeah.
But it was like as soon as she left, and she left a lot. So for me, it kind of makes me wonder, like,
do you think she knew?
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, if they told her, and I'm pretty sure they told her, right?
Yeah.
And for her not to believe it, there has to be like something telling her like this man is doing something to the kids or mm-hmm. having the kids do something to him.
Exactly. But
Fucking where?
I don't know. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay. My mom didn't have anything higher than a third grade education. So she used to say that her favorite part of growing up was getting to see her grandpa, my great grandpa. Mm-hmm. I don't think I ever met him. But back then, since they were so poor, her grandpa would take her and like my tias and stuff, and they would take them dumpster diving to go get like toys or clothes, like things like that. That's how they got the things that they
we used to do
had. That. We used to sidewalk dive, you know, the curb shopping. We used to do that.
You know those little houses in the thrift, like the thrift balls or whatever. Late at night, my dad we would go late at night, and then we'll go. He used to have a van, so he would just grab bags or whatever. And when security would come around, we would just drive off. And then when we get home, we'll open up all the bags and take whatever fit us. And of course, whatever didn't fit us, we'll put it back in the bag. And the next day, he'll go and put it back in there. That's how we got our clothes and our toys and stuff.
We used to go curb shopping. We got hand-me-downs a lot. That's what we did. So he used to take them dumpster diving.
I love it.
To get the kids out of the house and stuff like that, because I don't think they quite knew what was happening, but I guess they kind of suspected something.
Yeah.
So whenever they would go, the kids were like, you know, out of the house. And then after that, he would take them to go buy candy and like things like that, and then send them home.
I'm pretty sure if they knew what was going on, they wouldn't have let them go back.
Yeah. My mom said she adored him and always wished that he would have saved her. At the age of 12, my mom was sold off to Jim Gillespie, who was 19 when they met at church. This is where the story really begins. My mom was being sexually assaulted at home, and the aunt part is what my sister heard. Mm-hmm. But when I asked my tias, they weren't really aware that this aunt had any involvement. Okay? But just from...
So like a he says, she says.
Yeah. So my sister heard from her dad. Okay? So, my mom was being sexually assaulted at home, and an aunt of hers found Jim at a church. She según que my tia found out that was happening, and they were like, well, my mom is the youngest out of all of the kids. Out of 8 kids, she's the youngest. Mm-hmm. And she, the aunt found out, so she was like, we need to get her out of the house, this, and this. But instead of like taking over and taking care of her and like things like that, she basically got married off. Right? And so my mom met Jim when she was 12 and he was 19. So they decided to marry her off to Jim Gillespie in order to save her. Mm-hmm. Right? Thinking this would offer her a better life, things like that. Well, that wasn't really the case. In order for my mom to get married, because she was 12, they had to go and forge her birth certificate. Mm-hmm. They altered it. So my mom was born in 1969, but they had her birth certificate changed to say that she was born in 1967.
What, 14?
Yes.
So the age of marriage back in the day was 14? Was legal?
No. Now, I was looking this up because I was trying to figure out if there was an age limit, right? And I couldn't really find anything. Everything specifically stated that the age for you to be able to get married was at the age of 18 unless you were emancipated, right? And Is that the right word? Emancipated?
Well, yeah, because you're
like when you right. That's the right word. So that, or if you had parental consent. So if you were under the age of 16, you had to have parental consent. Mm-hmm. But there technically in the state of Texas, there wasn't like an age limit. Like you could get married as young as 8.
Yeah.
You know, and this was in the 80s. But they went and they altered her birth certificate, which is a felony. But the only way that they were able to do this and like do the applications and all of that was because Jim's sister worked at the post office. So they were able to get everything processed and done through her assistance. My mom married Jim on September 27th, 1982, 2 days after her birthday.
So she was what? 13?
She was technically like 13-ish, around there. Mm-hmm. They were married by a gypsy witch, and we'll upload a photo of Jim and my mom on her wedding day.
Right here.
So, and I was looking at that photo, and it's so crazy how Lupito looks exactly like my mom. Mm-hmm. I never realized he was like copied and pasted with her. Like my kids, all of my kids have like my mom's like bottom half, like this part. They have this part of my mom, but Lupito's the one that looks like
male
this
version of
her. He's the male version of my mom. And in the picture that we're gonna post from her wedding day, she is the same age as baby Abel.
Yeah, the same age
as Kimberly.
Oh my God. No.
Yeah. And I had showed my tia that picture, and my tia was like, she doesn't even look like she's 12 or 13. Like, she looks like she's 11.
Mm-hmm. You could tell this fucking kid, girl.
Mm-hmm. And anyway, so they were married by a gypsy witch on September 27th, 1982, 2 days after her birthday, which we found the Harris County marriage certificate information, and it wasn't the actual certificate itself, but it tells you like a group, like you know, it has the names and stuff like that. So on the Harris County,
there too.
Yeah, on the Harris County, it shows Jem Gillespie, age 20, and Irma Dale, England, age 14. But keep in mind, her birth certificate, her date of birth was altered to show that she was actually 14 when she was actually like 12 and a half, 13 years old.
It was crazy.
Life with Jim, who portrayed this image of a nice, godly man, was all smoke and mirrors in the public, but behind closed doors was a nightmare. She ended up being pregnant 6 months after she got married and gave birth to her first child, Lou, on November 2nd, 1983. My sister was born. After my sister was born, my mother struggled with postpartum depression. Lou states that growing up, she was very lonely and sad until our mom had our second sister, Lee, on December 8th, 1985.
Damn it, Peanut.
Lou was so excited to finally have a best friend. Unfortunately for them, our mom was still a kid trying to be an adult.
That's mine. Get your own.
She did the best. She did the best that she could, but she didn't know how to cook or clean properly and was severely depressed, which led Lou to be the one who needed to take care of Lee. So keep in mind, this is a 2-3-year-old child who is trying to make sure that her baby sister isn't falling off the beds, isn't, left like, soiled in the diaper.
She's what? Lou was 2, 2.5?
3, something like that, yeah.
So Lorenzo's age.
Yeah. Like, having to grow up that fast.
That's sad.
Like, it's crazy. She would be the one who needed to take care of Lee and make sure she was safe, fed, and bathed when our mom couldn't. During the time of her marriage, my mom was beaten by Jim, on multiple occasions after coming home drunk or after a fight. Lou specifically remembers a time when Jim came home completely shit-faced and started an argument with my mom where he proceeded to beat her and then raped her in front of my siblings. And all of this is happening by a man who sings gospel music. Like, he has his own YouTube channel where he praises the Lord, sings gospel music, all this stuff. And he goes to various churches, and he's an active member in the church, and, you know, he's like all this stuff. Yeah, like, he's holier than thou, but like, you're over here beating the shit out of a fucking child and raping them.
Crazy.
You know?
There's always those.
Eventually, my mom left and divorced Jim on February 3rd, 1988. She moved to Dallas, and she stayed with her sister. With her sisters. At one point, she was staying with one of the oldest sisters. And then an argument happened there. I'll tell you about it later. And then after that, she went and she stayed with my tia, the one that I talk to now. And so while she stayed with my tia and my tia would watch Lee. She would watch Lee at night while my mom worked at a bar. So we had a suitcase filled with like photos and stuff like that. And I was only able to find some of the pictures that we have now. I couldn't find all of them because I don't know what happened to the damn suitcase. But in that suitcase, there was a picture of my mom in her early 20s. I wish I could find it so I could post it. But like back then, like, you know, like they had the poofy hair and stuff like that. So her curls were like yours, but like she had like the, you know, the poofy hair. My mom was like a fucking 0. And she had titties and a fat ass. And she was skinny. Like skinny. Ooh. Like my mom was hot, y'all.
She was pulling all them dudes.
Yeah. And then so
she worked at a bar.
Yeah, and my tia was like, your mom said go work there, but I think she was just getting drunk. And my mom also worked at a Tom Thumb. She worked at a Tom Thumb, and she also worked at a churches.
God damn.
Yeah. There were times where Jim would come and pick up the girls and take them back with him and his new wife. Okay, so he met his second wife when she was 15, 16, around there, God. And he was 26.
What is up with him marrying these damn kids?
She was married and pregnant by Jim by the time she was 17 years old. We're going to call the second wife Bethy. So my sisters remember Bethy as being cruel and abusive. Lee went to visit Jim at one point, and she came back home with all of her hair chopped off because Bethy decided she wanted to cut it.
Oh, we fist fighting.
Let's see.
You got a picture of her with her hair chopped off?
I have it somewhere. She's little. Like I said, it's in that damn suitcase. I gotta find it.
Oh my god!
And she was always physically and verbally abusive. My sister said that during their visits with Jim, they would either be left alone in the home without food, while him and his wife would stay in the room fucking and sleeping all day, or they would be dropped off with random people. And this is where things take a turn.
That's fucking nasty.
Whenever my mom would go to pick up the girls, she could never find them. When I asked my sisters why, they said it was because whenever with Jim's parents, whenever they would go over there, they had this hidden door, right? So it was behind, I want to say, either a washing machine or a fridge, right? They just know that there was something that...
Like a circuit panel type thing?
Yeah. So whenever my mom or like my grandparents or anybody would try to go to like see the kids and stuff like that, whenever they came to town, they wouldn't be able to find them because Jim would have them hide in the wall of the house and would tell them that they needed to be very quiet. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to see their grandparents anymore.
This sounds like some Nazi shit. Like hiding behind the walls and shit.
And then Lou also remembers that there's this big box that was for like a washing machine or something. And they had it in the corner up against the wall. And they would have her hide inside that box.
Lou's the oldest, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
what's going on?
Yeah. They both recall an incident when they were about like 3 or 4, maybe 5, where Jim had them in the back of a U-Haul truck in a Kmart parking lot. Now, both of them remember the same thing because I asked, because only one of them knew I was doing the podcast. The other one didn't. I told her yesterday. But I wanted to like compare the stories.
Yeah.
And both of them
remember this part.
And I remember Lee told me like years ago about it. So Lee, she doesn't remember a whole lot because her trauma response was to just like
block it.
So she doesn't remember anything. Now Lou is going to therapy, so she's unlocking all of these. You know,
what the fuck are you doing?
I know.
Just keep it blocked off.
Yeah, no, she's coming up with like all these memories and like, you know, things that she blocked when for so long. You know? And so
be like Luke, guys. Don't be like Lee.
Yeah. Yeah, no, my sister was like, yeah, y'all should do I was like, we don't do therapy over here.
I was like, we
lock the door. Just lock the door, throw away the key. But they both recall the incident where Jim had them in the back of a U-Haul truck in a Kmart parking lot. And he was trying to sell them. And I don't mean sell them in the sense of like, you know, for sex and stuff like that. No, like he was trying to sell the kids.
To get rid of them?
To get rid of them. So my mom couldn't get them. He was trying
to... He's a man of God.
He was trying to sell them. And my mom was like looking for them and stuff like that. Nobody was answering. Nobody could tell her anything. And then eventually... an aunt of ours, we don't remember they don't remember exactly which aunt, but they know it was a tia. So a tia of ours ended up finding them and then took them. Right? And then, my sister's childhood at the time was so traumatizing, y'all, that they befriended a ghost that was their babysitter. I shit you not. Both of them remember the name. They remember what she looked like, everything. And I've heard this story.
That's what white people shit.
I've heard this story before when I was like, when
y'all talk about stuff?
Yeah. Like years ago. I remember it from when I was like 16. Like years ago. Yeah. I remember them telling me, because my mom would say, like, she would be like, yeah.
Your mom was like, the ghost could take care of it.
Yeah. So
we'll put a picture of the ghost right here.
So you'll have to try and find a
scary one.
No, not a scary one. Like apparently the ghost's name, they called her babysitter. Like the ghost was their babysitter when shit was going down with like their parents.
Let me hear you go.
So they befriended a ghost named Michaela who wore 1800s clothing and had long red hair. Michaela used to watch over the girls during fights and at night while they slept. They state that there was one time where the fighting was so bad that they hid in their room and Michaela patted on the bed for them to sit on it.
I'm scared.
And she sat on the bed and she was telling them to run out the window because the fighting was so bad. Like she was telling them to run away. Yeah, I got chills too.
Oh my God. Damn, I should have listened to the ghost.
Eventually, when Lou was maybe about 5, I want to say 4 or 5. From what my mom says, or from what my mom had told me, Lou didn't grow up with us. Peanut! Shh. Stupid cat.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Lou didn't grow up with us. I didn't know about her until she like popped up one day.
Well, I didn't even know you had an older sister. I always thought it was Lee.
Yeah.
Not Lou.
No. So, when she was about like 4 or 5, my mom told me that Jim had requested Lou to go over for like the summer or like something like that. He wanted her for something.
Just right? Her.
Yeah. Didn't request Lee. But it was just her. And so my mom was like, okay, well, the summer, whatever, and let her go. And, well, while she was there, Jim was with his second wife at the time. And, well, again, the second wife was very abusive verbally. Mm-hmm. Well, it was only Lou, so the second wife would, like, beat her and verbally abuse her, like things like that, to the point to where she would take makeup and cover all of Lou's bruises. And well, it was actually Bethy's mom,
second
wife's mom, who saw the bruises covering Lou and was like, okay, like this child is being abused. We need to get her out. So instead of trying to contact my mom, instead of trying to like, take her back home, reach her, like anything, my mom doesn't know any of this is happening. Right? And Jim signed over his parental rights. He went to the court, signed over his rights. Well, he knew how to get a hold of my mom. He knew where she lived. He knew all of these things. He could have just went and been like,
or called her.
Here, I don't want her. Keep her.
Come pick up something kid type
yeah.
Shit.
No. So what they ended up doing was they ended up putting a, I guess like a little message thing in the Dallas newspaper where they could do like the commentaries and stuff. And they said, Irma Dell, please come and pick up your child or your rights will be forfeited or whatever. We don't know if my mom knew how to read at the time. Because keep in mind, she was still young. And so we don't even know if she even read the damn paper. How is she supposed to know, like, oh, let me keep an eye out in the paper or something,
Let me keep an eye out for my kid real
quick.
Quick.
And then so eventually, my mom didn't know anything. So when she would go, eventually when she went to go get her, Lou was already adopted out. So this is where the church trafficking theory comes in. Because
I'm just going to turn off my phone.
And so, so when my mom, like, went to go get her, she was already adopted out.
That's fucking crazy.
So apparently, the second wife's parents, they were church people, right? So they found this couple in the church who wanted a baby. And they decided, well, like, hey, we have this 5-year-old. I know it's not a baby, but we have a kid. And so, según they did like this private
adoption.
This private adoption. They didn't go through CPS or anything like that. And so, they took her. And after that,
So did she have a good life?
From what she said, not really. Let's see.
So why the fuck adopts a kid if you're not gonna treat the kid with love?
No question. Yeah. And then so Lou was saying that after her adoption and stuff like that, she was adopted through a church in Georgetown. right? And then after that, the church, right? The pastors from the church, which are Bethy's parents, started receiving a bunch of luxury items. They started getting like funds and like all these things, like finances, money and stuff like that just started pouring in for them, for the pastor and the wife who helped, you know,
save a kid.
Yeah, save a kid, but they sold my sister. Because they just started randomly having like all these bougie ass shit coming in. So tell me that doesn't kind of sound like
she got sold off.
Yeah, right? Mm-hmm. And then so I asked her, cause her adoption records are sealed. Mm-hmm. Right? And well, she's over the age of 18. She should be able to
request it.
Well, she asked her adoptive parents for it and they won't give it to her. They told her no. For what? Why? But they did end up giving her letters that my mom wrote to her and to Jem, stating that she didn't want her daughter adopted. She wanted her returned back to her. So my mom wrote letters, you know, stating,
and they never gave it to her.
And they never gave it to her. They held on to them.
Oh my God.
They never gave them to her.
Piece of shit, bro.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they knew that she wanted her child, that she didn't want her child to be adopted out or any, and they still did it anyway.
Well, I hope they're in hell. Because that's crazy. How you finna sell a kid that's not yours? Why even sell a kid in the first place?
Yep. So when my mom went to get her, that's when she found out that she was adopted out and there was no longer anything she could do. She had lost her daughter. Mm-hmm. And Lou didn't reunite with my mom until she was 18. As for Lee, she had lost her sister and best friend. She lived with my mom here in Dallas and was forced to move around a lot and to deal with my mom's boyfriends and the situations that they brought. She doesn't remember a whole lot because her trauma response was to block it all out.
She said boyfriends because her mom was pulling them.
Yeah, my mom was a hoe.
She said it not.
But in reality, you know, my sister Lee, she like pretty much was the one that raised me. She was the one that showered me, bathed me, you know, helped me with homework, did my hair. Like she was my mom.
Yeah.
When my mom met my biological dad, right? Because as many of you know, the man that I call my dad is my stepdad.
No, maybe like, as many of you know, Miss Irma was tres leches.
Yeah, my mom had 3 baby daddies, and only one of them was good.
Because last time you called your mom tres leches.
Oh my gosh. When my mom met my bio dad, she moved in with him. And at the time, I wasn't conceived or born or anything like that. So it was just my mom and Lee.
Okay, yeah.
Right? And along with the girlfriend and her kids.
Okay.
Right? And so my dad, my bio dad, my sister remembers that he would abuse her. And he was like a coke addict and an alcoholic. You know, she did not have great choices in men. Eventually, my mom ended up leaving. Probably because she got tired of getting her ass beat.
Guess who just was peeping on our shit?
Who? Oh, well. And,
I can see you, girl. I can see you.
And, so she ended up leaving and she ended up marrying my dad, Chimo. She married Chimo in April of 1994 and had me in November of 94. So she married him when, she was pregnant with me.
Yeah.
Right. And then she went on to have the baby of the family in September of 98, which is our youngest sister. As many of you know, y'all already know my trauma, so I'm not diving into that We ain't resurfacing shit over here. We keeping the door locked.
Not even a little scratchy scratch.
Nah, not even a little scratchy scratch. And then so, from what Lee remembers is there was a time where she had to go to Athens. Mm-hmm. My mom sent her to Athens because my grandma had eventually left my grandpa, right? Because she gained custody of a cousin of my mom's or something like that, her kids. Mm-hmm. Right? And so, since she gained custody, they told her that, you know, my grandpa had to be kicked out. It was either she loses custody of the kids or he goes.
Bye.
Because he was touching the kids.
Bye.
Right? And so, with that, my grandma was already old and struggling. So my mom sent Reba to Athens to help my grandma take care of those kids. Mm-hmm. And so Reba was like, I basically had to grow up and I had to figure out how to raise all these fucking kids. Mm-hmm. And eventually Lee ended up having to go to school there for a little while. And they would make her go to church. They would make her like take all the kids, get dressed up, and she would have to go. She would have to walk to the stores. Mm-hmm. She did everything. She was a parent. Right? Mm-hmm. And Lee remembers that we constantly moved a lot. Or well, her and my mom did. They moved all the time. Like they never had a, what's it called?
Stable home.
Yeah, they never had a stable home. So, you know, and then she would be gone and in Athens months at a time and then come back. So like her childhood was very
unstable.
Yeah. And again, she had to grow up fast.
Yeah.
And it was to the point where she remembers that CPS was called to the house a lot. Mm-hmm. And again, this is where it's one of those things with the older generation, and I don't fucking know why. But whenever CPS would come to the home, it was always tell them nothing happened.
Yeah.
Tell them that, you know, whatever they heard isn't true and this isn't this. So, you know,
why?
Because we were going to be taken up. And so, you know, my sister didn't want to lose me. And I don't think BB was here yet. So it was just me and her. But, you know, so like she didn't want to like lose us and stuff like that. So, you know, she would be like, no, nothing happened. But CPS was always at the house.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Lou and Lee no longer speak to their father. They haven't spoken to them in over a decade. But when Lou asked Jim why he thought that it was okay for him to marry a child, he simply stated that she wouldn't understand. The 80s were different, and it was okay to do that then. And then he blocked her.
He blocked her?
He blocked her. So my thing is like, what kind of godly person would ever think that it's okay to marry a fucking child? Jim is currently married to his third wife, thankfully, who is not a fucking child. Probably because he was already old as shit and couldn't get away with it.
Yeah.
He now has a gospel band. And he has lived in Missouri. I know we have followers in Missouri, so don't let me know if y'all have met him. I've never met him. He wouldn't like me. He really ain't gonna like me after this. But I don't give a fuck. But the theory and the family is that he's having an affair with his co-singer.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Juicy.
Yeah, because apparently the story is that when he was married to the second wife, he was having an affair on the second wife with the third wife.
I mean, before was a cheater, always a cheater.
And so him and his second wife divorced in like the early 2010s.
So was he cheating on your mom with?
I wouldn't be surprised.
With the second wife?
I don't know. My sisters were little, so
I'm pretty sure. However, the second wife got him is how she lost him.
Yeah, because he met the second wife when she was 15. Mm-hmm. And then they started talking when she was 16. And then I'm pretty sure they were already having sex and stuff like that too. But they were married. She was married and pregnant by the age of 17.
Oh, for sure. Ew, he's weird.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's the tea. And then, let's see. And my sisters want to make it known that our mother did the best that she could with what she knew. Now, when she was older, she was able to do better because of what she's learned. Now, even though our mother wasn't the best that she could have been, she did the best with what life had dealt her.
And she dealt with a lot of shit.
In the end, after everything life threw at her, she was a wonderful friend and a wonderful grandma. She's missed daily and deserves so much more than this life offered her. I pray that her next life is filled with love and happiness. And this is the story of Irma Dale.
Jim, you ain't shit.
Yeah, no. How are you going to go and preach at a fucking church?
After everything you've done.
After everything.
Trying to sell your kids.
Let your wife beat the shit out of your kids. Rape your first wife.
Sexually abusing children. Because apparently your first two wives were kids at this point.
Yeah. And then, but he states that times were different. So it was okay back then. But I was Googling because I was trying to find where in the state of Texas in the 80s, if it was okay, So at the time, the state of Texas didn't really have like a minimum age limit. Okay. There was nothing specific to like an age gap. But it did have it to where you had to be 18 to get married on your own. Or you had to be between the ages of 16 and 17 to become emancipated from your parents and get married. Right? Now, you could get married if you had parental consent, if you were younger than 16.
And Jen's sister helped with all that shit.
Yes. Now, when I was searching, it did pop up that there was a spike. It's on my phone. I should have sent it to you. That there was a spike in, I'm going to send it to you real quick.
Side of it. Oh, hold on, I got it.
Okay. Yeah, it had paused there for a minute. So, yeah. So, apparently, in the 1980s, the legal age to marry in Texas would have been 18, though individuals aged 16 and 17 could marry with parental consent. Under prior Texas law, marriage of minors younger than 16 was not prohibited by a statutory age for, meaning the judge could have granted permission. Yeah, so a judge had to grant permission for that. Now, back in the 80s, there was they noticed an increase in child sexual assault. So in the late 70s, early 80s, they were now finding a bunch of cases where children were being sexually assaulted in their homes by family members. They were ending up pregnant, like things like that. So there was like a big investigation and things like that happening. But obviously, if there was a big influx of, child sexual assault in the 80s, then it wasn't that fucking normal.
Yeah.
For you to marry a goddamn 12-year-old.
Exactly.
Like, come on now.
That'd be fucking for real.
And then for you to sit there and then, like, come home drunk and rape her in front of her fucking kids.
Ooh.
Like, your fucking kids? Like, they're your fucking kids, too.
That's crazy.
And, you know, I was asking my tia about it because I was telling my tia, you know, what my sister had told me. And she was like, that's crazy. Because she's like, your mom never really spoke about her marriage to Jim. Like, she never wanted to talk about it. And it was probably because it was one of the worst experiences.
Oh, yeah.
She was better off just staying at home with my grandpa.
Yeah.
You know? But, and so she was, like, telling me that my tia said she knew Jim because she used to work at the church. Mm-hmm. She used to teach at the church. So that's where she met him and his family.
What the hell?
And that, she said that Jim was always held himself as this very, handsome, godly person. Mm-hmm. Like, he was always very polite, very charismatic, very, you know, people-pleasing, like, very out there.
Yeah.
And so, you know, he never showed, like, aggression, never showed anything like that. And so when I was telling her, like, what my sisters had experienced and what my mom had told me, she was like, I never knew that. Because my mom never told them why she left.
I think I feel like she didn't want to feel embarrassed. You know what I mean? That she went through that. She had to put up with it for so many years and stuff.
But, yeah, that's the story of my mom's life, y'all.
It's sad.
Yeah. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed it. Let me know what y'all think.
Or if you guys have family members who are like, were in a similar situation back in the day, let us know.
Yeah. We're here for it.
Keep in mind, you can send it to sisterhood.confessions1@gmail.com. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. And on YouTube, we're going to be uploading a little YouTube video on the life of Miss Irma. And if you guys have any chisme, stories, or anything like that, go ahead and email us. I think that's it.
Yeah, that's about it.
Oh, and we're going to be uploading pictures.
Oh, yes.
On our Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and our YouTube video is going to have pictures within the video as well.
All right. Bye.